Hello, everybody. Okay, so this is gonna be fun because you guys are gonna do most everything on the floor. And ideally, if you have like a bench or an ottoman or like a stool or something where you can put your feet up on, I have like a stack of cases of beer. So you can get very creative. All right, so start with the mat and you're gonna go down onto your knees. My partner will join me in just a minute. So start up on the knees. And I have my toes tucked under. You can go flat-footed. It doesn't necessarily matter here. Just whatever feels better for the feet. Knees are about shoulder width apart. Chin goes to the chest. And think just overemphasize that roll down, like you want to bring the head down to the ground. And then I bring the arms back over my head. And then come up and out of that slowly. Step the right foot forward and bring the left arm up and over the head, drive the hips forward. So from the side, it looks like this. And then you're going back, feet together, chin to the chest, drop the head, arms come back up and over. And then you're gonna step the other leg out, arm reaches up and over the head arch. So you're doing 10 of those, 5 on each side, 10 total, at your own pace. Chin to the chest, overemphasize that roll down, arms go back. Step up. You can take both arms over the head if you wanted to, I guess. I don't know why, it just feels better to do the opposite. So it's your right leg, it should be your left arm, because it's mostly that left side we're trying to open up and stretch. Feet together, chin to the chest, roll down. We're doing 5-ish on each side, alternating, step forward, lean back, drive the hips forward. So you should get a big stretch in the lower abs, front of the hip. All of that should feel good. It should feel like each time you step into that, you're able to just shift a little bit further, reach, chin up, eyes up, shift back, chin to the chest, roll down. How many others have we done? 10-ish. And if you need to get like a softer cushion for your knees, go for it. My knees hurts my bony knees. Bonies. Nice job. Super smooth. Should feel good. All right. Should be more or less through 10-ish of those. When you're done there, easy transition. You're just going to go hands down. Knees are hovering off the ground just a little bit. So from the side, you're here. You're just rotating. Knee tap, knee tap. Do 5 on each side, 10 total. So if I had like a ruler between the knees or something, the knees are not changing their distance apart. The lower back's just taking on that twist and holding your hips up above the ground. 5 each way, 10 total. And then from there, you'll walk the hands out to a plank, walk the feet in together. So you're in a straight arm plank now. Tuck the knees back, bend the knees like you're trying to bring the forehead down to the ground, straighten out the legs, back to that straight arm plank. Go through 10 of those. Bend the knees, straighten the legs. Bend the knees, straighten the legs. It should feel like each time you can sink a little deeper. Knees are coming pretty close to the ground if they're not touching the ground already. If you don't already have your shoes off, you should take the shoes off. All right, we'll go through that again. So 2 more rounds. We always go through 3 rounds of everything, just different planes. So now you're gonna be here. When you go down, you're gonna reach. We're not taking the head down in front. We're gonna reach up and over. So say your right hand goes over the head. Right foot's gonna step out, and then left hand's gonna come over the head. So we're doing the same foot every time. Both knees are down, right hand comes over the head, right foot steps out wide, left arm comes over the head. So go through 5 of those on that side. It should feel like a lot of lower back, a lot of oblique, just creating space between those ribs. 5 of these. It's that frontal plane that you're trying to move the spine on. So it should be like this true side to side lean. Try to avoid any forward tilt, any rotation, just stay on that imaginary plane of motion. Same thing on the other side. Both knees are down, left hand comes over the head, left foot steps out, and then right hand comes over the head. And imagine you're taking like the bicep to the ear, so the head staying in between the window, the arms not crossing over in front of the face, the arms making the spine lean a little bit further. Lean side, step out, lean to the other side. Nice job. 5 of those. Should feel good. We do not move in this plane of motion very much, so it often feels sticky at first, and then you kind of warm up into it. Nice job. 5 of those, and then you're gonna go hands down, knees hovering off the ground again. We're just gonna progress into a little bit deeper of a movement here. So I'm on the knees, you're gonna rotate, try to tap the left hip down, rotate, try to tap the right hip down. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. That's a lot for the shoulders, a lot for the back. If the hip doesn't get all the way down to the ground, that's fine. It's just more or less pointing down towards the ground. 5 each way, move as smoothly into it as you're moving out of it. 10 total, and then go into that straight arm plank. Last time you were here, this time we're gonna walk the feet a little bit forward so my head is way past the fingertips. There's more flexion for the wrists, and it's just generally harder on the core. So now go through those again. Bend the knees, straighten out the legs. The head should go way past the fingertips. Bend the knees, straighten out the legs. So now it's asking a lot out of the ankles, wrists, shoulders, core and back are doing most of the hard work. Inhale into that tuck, exhale out of it. 10 total. Nice job. That should feel good. All right, from there, last round, back to the knees down business. So you're gonna twist left, step right, push the weight forward, twist right. Knees down, twist left, step right, twist right. That first twist left kind of feels weird, but it should feel like it's just this smooth rotation away, rotation towards. Go through 5 of those. Nice job. I'm not sure my knees are strong enough for this. Got weak knees. Much better. Rotation away from where you're about to step, and then rotation towards the leg you're stepping on. Remember, all the muscles responsible for that twist are your pullers, so it's everything in that lower back that's pulling you around. We don't have anything here pushing you. It's everything on the side you're rotating to, pulling you. Then you're going back down, knees bent, just like we've been doing. This time, if you twist right, extend that left leg, the leg that's underneath you. So if I twist my knees to the right, I extend the left leg. Come back to neutral, extend. Back to neutral, extend. 5 on each side, 10 total. Just a bigger ask for the obliques. Nice job. From there, you're going back to your straight arm plank. Just like you did last time, walk the feet forward so the head is way past the fingertips. The only difference is now, when you go into a tuck, you're turning the knees to the right. Straighten out the legs. Then turn the knees to the left. Straighten out the legs. Turn right. Turn left. 5 each way, 10 total. Nice job. Yeah. All right. Now you need something to put your feet up on. We have a bench. It doesn't necessarily need to be this high. It can be anything from about, I'd say, like knee height lower. This is a little higher, but this works. So you're gonna start off with the feet up on the bench, hands underneath you. You can use this one too.
Yeah, but my heels won't go straight up.
Oh.
Ooh, man, that would hurt.
And then straighten up the hips. You can have a little bend in the knees, flex the feet, and you're just gonna hold here. We're gonna keep coming back to this for about 30 seconds. So you should feel the hamstrings, glutes. The more you bend the knees and flex the feet, the more you can really emphasize that feeling. You feel these?
Yeah.
We're just gonna hang out here. We don't do a whole lot of isometric stuff. This is gonna be one of them. When you're done with those, we'll do this for like another 10 seconds.
Sounds all right.
You're gonna drop the hips, raise the hips, eyes go up, bring the hips higher than you've been holding them. Drop the hips, eyes go to the knees, raise the hips up, eyes go up, chin goes up. Go through 10 of those. So now you're bringing the back into the game. It should feel like a lot of effort in the back, in the glute, in the hamstrings. Go through 10 of those. When you're done there, easy transition. You'll just sit down and then take the legs out in front of you. Pull one knee into the chest. Sternum driven forward, up on the sits bones. And we're gonna draw the letter L. So you're just gonna take that foot straight up, down, out, back in. Up, down, out, in. Up, down. Go through 10 of those, making sure the leg is staying straight, making sure the toes are not turning out. That's just a collapse in the hip adductor's ability to rotate that leg back in. Go through 10 on one side and then just switch sides. The back of the leg should feel fatigued from doing that reverse plank, but this should be all front of the hip. So pull that opposite knee in, sit straight up and down. Imagine somebody's pulling you forward from the sternum. Raise the leg up, take it out back in. We're just isolating that leg's effort to hold that leg up. And while you're sitting, the abs aren't able to do a whole lot. So it is just right at the top of that hip, right where the femur sits into the pelvis, where you should be feeling that effort. 10 of those. Raise, swing out, raise. Nice job. All right, from there, you're gonna go back to your bench, but now you're gonna hold on this side. So you're gonna be on a side plank. Top leg is gonna be up, bottom leg's just hanging out. Okay, so my top leg is up on the bench, bottom leg is just hanging out down here. If that's too much, you can do knee down and just put more weight into that leg. It's still a decent amount of work. If you can, raise that bottom leg. We're just gonna do this for 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Other leg up. Bottom leg just floating down there. 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then sit down. Back to that knee pulled in. This time you're drawing a circle, go up, around, back in. Up, around, back in. So as big of a circle as you can draw with keeping that leg straight. It should be slow. It would be better to go slow and hit this big circle than it would to just be do these fast, short, little jerky circles. 10 of those. And then same thing on the other side, starting with the lift and then switching to the hip abductors effort to pull the leg away from the center line. Hip adductor adds to the body center line. So it's hip flexor, abductor, adductor. Flexor raises, abductor takes it away, adductor adds it back in. 10 of those. Nice job. All right, when you're done there, you're going back to the bench, both feet lifted, just in your normal plank, not a side plank. So legs are up, hips are up, and you're just gonna alternate. Lift one leg, lift the other leg. 10 of these on each side. And that'll be about 30 seconds. It might be easier to do this because your just mind is at least focusing on something other than staying perfectly still. The hardest thing in the world is to stay perfectly still. Nice job. There are probably harder things. Nice job. And then go through 10 down and up. These can be a little quicker and slightly shorter in range of motion. Good job. It should feel like it's a lot for the back. It's a lot for the glutes. All these little muscles that don't really get a ton of attention. And they tend to be what fatigues and what makes you have pretty funky form when you're tired. Back to that one knee pulled in, one leg straight out. Now you're going out first. So out, up, back around. So if it's your right leg, you're going counterclockwise. If it's your left leg, are you still doing the same thing? I don't know. It's too hard for me to think about. You're going away first, then lift it up, pull it back around. Go through 10 of those circles. Notice that your body may be starting to round the back, tuck the tailbone under, and that's just your body's way to try to help out the hip. You just have to say, thank you, body. That's very smart. You are helping me out, but I don't really need that right now. Same thing. Leg goes out, leg goes up, bring it back in. So you're making these big circles. 10 of these. Check that the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. So if you have laser beams pointing out of the toes, they'd be pointing on the ceiling the whole time. They'd never hit that side wall. So I'm going to get something like that just to test everybody. I always talk about laser beams out of your toes. All right, then you're going back to your side plank. So top leg up on top. This time, we're going to give the leg something to do rather than just to hold it. So that bottom leg is just, you know, I'll figure out the height for this. That bottom leg is just going to go forward, back, forward, back. Go through 10 of those. Ooh, those are hard. Same thing, other side. Get that foot up, raise the hips up. The bottom leg's just going forward and back. Nice job. When you're done there, back to knee in. You guys are probably picking up on the pattern. Knee in, raise the leg up to about halfway. Not as high as you could possibly take it, but about that halfway point. And you're just going toe in, toe out, toe in, toe out. Go through 10 of those each direction or 20 little twists. And the knee should be going with it. It's not just the ankle that's moving, it's the whole leg. 10 each way and then switch sides. Same thing on the other side. 10 out and back in. So the knee should be still tracking with that foot. There's really no movement in the ankle joint or in the knee joint. It's all isolated to the hip. As far as leg knows, nothing's going on. Just the hips doing all the work to twist it. Nice job. All right, last time, both feet up, hold here. One leg's just gonna go out, back in, and then switch. Out, back in. Last time for these, promise. 10 on each side. One leg out, one leg in. One leg out, one leg in. If you have a partner, you have to time your movements well. Nice job. These are hard. Today's hard. I feel like I'm sweating more than I normally do in this class. I call this mobility, but it's also a lot of strength and abs and core and back. And then go through your 10 hip drop, hip pike. Last time. It's also like 70 something degrees outside.
Yeah. And humid.
Very humid. Nice job last time, promise. All right, so from there, we can push this thing out of the way. All right, so you're gonna go feet flat, knees bent. I promise the rest of this is like really, truly just like big movements. So feet flat, fold the legs over to the left, fold the legs over to the right. Just alternate, flopping them over to one side, flopping them over to the other. This should feel good. And then add just a little hip lift. So when you flop the legs over, just bring the hips up an inch, just enough that the hips leave the ground. Flip the knees over, little lift. Flip the knees over, little lift. So do 3 or 4 of those to each side. It's just trying to learn how you can shift weight, where you can plant the body down to be able to lift another part of it up. And mostly you should feel it on the outside of that hip. All right, then you're gonna flip over. Don't lift the hip. If the knees are flipped over to the left, bring your right arm around and you're trying to reach as far on the ground as you can. And I use my hand like a little spider to like crawl forward, stretch out the lat. As soon as I get as far as I can go, I just take one big deep breath, one big exhale, and then crawl out of it slowly and go to the other side. So we'll do that twice to each side. Flop over to the right now, left hand swings around. Use the fingertips to just crawl forward. Take a big inhale and exhale from the belly, and then slowly come back up and out of it. And just do that one more time to each side. Nothing changes here. Flop the knees over, swing that arm around so you continue the rotation in the spine. Use the hand like a little spider to crawl forward. You should feel that stretch in the lat. Last time, flip around to the other side. Roll over, crawl the hand forward. And then come back to neutral, feet flat, hands planted pretty close to the glutes now. And you're just gonna alternate. Right hand's gonna go up, hips go up. Maybe this one's easier from the side. Hips come up, reach overhead, and then sit back down, switch sides. Left hand comes up, reach overhead, slow back down. Do 5 on each side, 10 total. And move the feet wherever it feels like they need to go to just be planted solid. You really can't do this wrong as long as it feels good. It's just trying to open up all of this that we were just working. 5-ish on each side. If 4 feels right or it feels really good, you can go to 6 on each side. When you're done there, flip over. So you're kind of in this downward dog position, feet flat, hips high. Alternate, bend one knee, drive that opposite heel to the ground, and then switch. Do that 3 or 4 times each. You're just like pumping the legs. Bend one knee, straighten out the other leg. Bend one knee, straighten out the other leg. Then walk the hands to the feet, and then walk the feet away from each other. So they're going super wide. Bring the left hand to the right ankle and bend the right knee. So you're trying to like pull the chest down to that knee. Then switch to the other side. Right hand to the left knee, pull the chest to the knee. Left hand to the right knee, or ankle rather. You're just alternating, reaching across to the opposite knee, pull ankle, whatever that joint is. You should feel good, just a massive stretch in the groin. And then last time through, I do 2 or 3 each, where now that arm that wasn't doing anything gets to reach up to the ceiling, and see if you can take the fingertips up to the eyes up to the fingertips. You must be very tired. I'm forgetting all the body parts. Reach, rotate, eyes go with it. Do 2 or 3 of those each way. So it's a big crossover reach, and just keep rotating. Point the fingertips up to the sky and take the eyes with it. Do that 2 or 3 times to each side, and then walk the feet in slowly. Last thing we're gonna do, big split stance. So what we've already done, we're just gonna kind of shift into it. So if the right leg is out in front, left arm comes overhead and reaches. Now you're just gonna hold. So we've been doing this reach, but we're gonna hold here. If your right leg's in front, it's your left arm overhead. You can have that free arm just kind of hanging out here. Last little thing we're gonna add, you're just gonna act like somebody's pushing that left shoulder forward or like you're trying to face the ground. And then slowly come back up and out of it, rotate to face forward, come out of that bend. Same thing on the other side. If I said this is the last thing we're doing, I've said that for the last 10 things. Left leg is forward, right arm reaches over the head, stretch. This should be a familiar stretch, so it's not like the body's first time to hit this. And then like somebody's pushing your right shoulder forward or pulling your left shoulder back, you're just trying to face the ground. And then slowly unwind out of that. That's it, you're done. You get out 3 minutes early for good behavior. Or you can do what Jason's doing and just keep making up whatever you missed. You guys are awesome, thank you, well done. It's so good to see everybody's faces. Bye guys.